I'd like to call the Lafayette Parish Council meeting to order. At this time, I'd like to ask my fellow council members to help out in the prayer and pledge. We'll ask Councilman Tabor to lead us in the prayer and Councilman Carls to lead us in the pledge.
Thank you, Lord. Father God, we just thank you for this day, God, another day to live in your grace and glory. We thank you for all the wonderful things you've blessed us with, Father. Father God, we just pray that you watch over this meeting, bless us with the wisdom we need, Father God, and just bless this parish and city, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman Carlson. Thank you, Councilman Tabor. Appreciate it. Thank you all for attending the Parish Council meeting. I know today is a beautiful day, and look forward to some more beautiful weather. Also, regardless of how the outcomes went yesterday, we appreciate everyone going out to vote. I think Louisiana and Lafayette Parish did a great job of going out and vote, no matter who you were for. The numbers were very high, and the turnout was very good, so that's always a good sign. All right. Welcome you to Lafayette Parish Council meeting. As presiding officer and chair, I'd like to announce the following. This is a public hearing to address the council on any item on this agenda. Please fill out the speaker form to submit your information to the clerk prior to the call of that agenda item. If not, you will not be given an opportunity to speak. Staff assistance is available if needed. Items for submission to the council should be handled to Council Clerk Ms. Veronica Williams, who is seated all the way to my left. When addressing the council, state your name and title for the official record. There will be a 3-minute rule that will be in effect. No debating, confrontational statements will be allowed. Also, profanity or being out of line. The front row to my left is for media only. Food and drinks are not allowed in the auditorium. And please silence all cell phones and electronic devices. Meeting procedures are by resolution and not by Robert's Rules of Order. All documents with reference to the meetings can be found on the LCG website. And finally, we ask the council encourages your involvement in boards or commissions. If interested, please call 291-8800. Chair announcements. Due to election day requirements, the council meetings for November and December will be on the first and third Wednesdays of each month instead of the typical first and third Tuesdays. Item number 15, Joint Ordinance 096-2020, 2% general pay increase. Councilmember Gilbo is requesting an amendment to exclude elected officials, employees of the President's office who receive an increase through the budget process, and those exclusions noted by Finance on the revised submittal form. Item number 17, LCVC appointment to board. Candidates Suzanne Malbrough and Joseph Gordon-Wiltz withdrew their names for consideration. Item number 19, Parish Ordinance 069-2020. The fiscal year noted on the agenda should read fiscal year 2021. It is noted correctly on the ordinance itself. I'd like to wish a happy birthday to Teresa Elberson, Library Director, which she will celebrate on November 15th. Happy birthday, Teresa. There will be a Parish Council special meeting and public hearing to consider calling an election with regards to a levy of a sales tax and use tax immediately following the meeting. Councilmember A.B. Rubin is unable to attend tonight's meeting. In regards to that last announcement, I have a chair announcement to make. We will be deferring resolution item number 5, PR-017-2020. We'll be deferring that. And we will also be deferring, Ms. Williams, what item is the?
It's item number 2 on the special meeting agenda, which is noticed for 5 p.m.
Right.
Number 2.
So those two will be deferred indefinitely until other times. Matter of fact, one of the things that I want to do is let administration know, let citizens for New Louisiana, Ms. Carol Ross, or anybody out there that is watching or listening, I'm going to respectfully ask that administration and the following people present or help find a solution to fix the parish. Whatever solution that is, we're open ears. We want to know what it is, but we cannot continue to move forward with blinders and not act and act like there's not a problem in the parish. We have 0 fund balances in just about every millage. We have little to no sales tax. We have rededicated money for fire protection. I want to thank the voters for going out there for fire protection and roads. That is a great thing that is very needed in the parish. It's going to help everyone out, municipalities. But it's time somebody else besides myself and this council work behind the scenes to come up with a solution to fix the parish. It's time stakeholders in this community come to the table and meet with us and give us your solution on how do we fix the parish moving forward. We have anywhere from 50 to 100,000 in fund balance for the general fund, while every other community, including the city of Lafayette, has $40 million. If the parish is to get sued or we have another horrendous year, I don't know where the money is going to come from to fix it. You can't rededicate roads money, bridge money, and stick it in the general fund. We have no piggy bank. We have nothing. So it's a point where I'm asking administration, I'm asking stakeholders in the city of Lafayette and the parish of Lafayette, I'm asking mayors, I'm asking previous councils, other council members. I need to know something between now and June. I want to know how we're going to fix it, how we're going to fix the shortfall, and I'm open to any solution. But I don't want a solution that's going to put $1 million in the piggy bank when we need about $12.5 million. So I'm all ears. We deferring these items that we had because other people has talked to us and said, well, I think there's another way. We need more time. There's other solutions maybe out there. So we respectively going to defer this to bring people to the table to say, how do you want to fix the parish? We have courthouse issues. We have jail issues. We have no money to subsidize any of the failing millages. The millages aren't producing enough to sustain, and we don't have a reserve fund of $40 million like the city to plug holes and fix things. So, again, please, citizens from New Louisiana, administration, Ms. Carol Ross, anybody out there that wants to help the parish as a whole, because if we're going to be parish one, then we all got to come up to the table. I think the parish is in need of a solution. I don't want it to come just from me or my fellow council members. So input from all angles. I would respectfully like to have that ball start rolling right now before we get to June. Okay? Thank you. All right. Done with announcements. Council announcements. Mr. Gilbo, you have the floor, sir.
Mr. Chair, I appreciate the comments that you made about the voting and the large turnout. And I certainly want to give some credit to the early voting sites, the 2 new sites that opened up. It's my understanding that we had a tremendous response. The lines were long. Obviously, the 2 additional sites did have an impact on what we saw yesterday in terms of the large number. So I applaud this council for taking the initiative to bring this forward. And now that we have these 3 sites, hopefully we can keep them going. If there was any doubt in terms of the need, I think it was well on display the last early voting period. So congratulations to the citizens and this council for taking it a step forward and making this available to our citizens. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right, any other council announcements? Seeing none. Executive Mayor's President report. At this time, I'd like to recognize Mayor President Guillory. Oh, here we go, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I really appreciate those kind words. Also, I do think that taking a tactical pause on increasing taxes at this time is probably a wise decision on you guys' part. So, and I also like your call to action. So, a dialogue is always great. You know, before we raise taxes, I think you should view raising taxes like you view going into war. It should be a last resort. You should exhaust all remedies before you raise taxes. You should exhaust all remedies before you go to war. So, good diligence on the parish council's part. Really appreciate that position. We have budget to actual comparison of major parish funds, September 2020 preliminary, which was submitted to the councils for your review. I have it present with me, and our Director of Finance is present for any questions that you have.
Councilman Gilbo.
Mr. Chair, and I wanted to make another comment, and it was in regards to your comments on the tax, and now that the mayor has brought it up as well, I'd also like to respond by saying, absolutely, there is a need out there. I mean, I don't think anybody's trying to overlook these core issues that our chair has brought to our attention. My concern, and I'm glad we're going to have this extra time to review it, defer it tonight, where we can enter into dialogue with our citizens. We need to hear from them. I think it's very important that they be part of this process. I'm glad, Mr. Chair, that you called on these individuals, and I think they can be a big help. But we have those who are sitting in their homes that are also concerned about these things, and we need to hear from them as well, because it does have an impact. We represent those people, and I absolutely believe that we've got the mindset where we can find solutions, and it may be through the tax and it may be other ways. We don't know at this point. So I applaud the delay. Let's get to work, roll up the sleeves, and let's fix this parish if this is really what we want to do. We cannot sustain a $40,000, $50,000 fund balance. That's not doable. You know, when others are sitting on 40 million, 50 million, 60 million, whatever it might be. So I think it's time. Let's move forward, and thanks for giving us this extra time. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. And no, I think we need to get down to it and take it serious. I think it's before we wake up and all of a sudden we're in a bind. So I do appreciate that. And I also would like to say that town hall meetings are something that's going to be done, and hopefully we'll start them soon so we can get input. But I appreciate it, your comments, Mr. Gilbo, and Mayor President as well. I appreciate it too.
Mr. Chair, I just want to, if you don't mind, one just quick. And again, there's been a cry for, it seems, for some time. I mean, we've heard this when we're out there campaigning. Listen to us. We're the voice. We want to be heard. And here's an opportunity. So if you're sitting in your rocker chair and you don't come forward, shame on you. Here's an opportunity to hear from each and every one of you. Let us know. And certainly there will be the town hall meetings. There'll be other meetings organized to bring this to the forefront so we can vet this thing to its fullest. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Do you have anything else, Mr.
One other item, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
We have a wonderful finance department that we would like to recognize. On that note, we did defer last joint meeting due to the time constraints. So I'd like to present them with an award, but first I have a few thoughts. So Government Finance Officers Associations of the United States and Canada has awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting to Lafayette Consolidated Government for its comprehensive annual financial report for the fiscal year ended October 31st, 2019. The CAFR has been judged by an impartial panel to meet the high standards of the program, which includes demonstrating a constructive spirit of full disclosure, which I think that's what you guys want to do on this potential tax increase, which I applaud you for. So to clearly communicate its financial story and motivate potential users and user groups to read the CAFR. The Certificate of Achievement is the highest form of recognition in the area of governmental accounting and financial reporting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by a government and its management. So it's my distinct honor to present not only Director Lori Toops, but her staff with this very prestigious award. So thank you for what you do.
I know we have time limits now, so I'll be very brief. But for the new people, I wanted you to understand what this recognition is about. If in a couple of months, I'll make 10 years here in Lafayette. When I came to Lafayette, the fourth largest city in the state, I learned that we were only meeting the lowest legal level of reporting. We prepared an annual audit, which is the minimum required by the state of Louisiana. There was much more that we could do to let people know what our finances were about in Lafayette, and there was much more that what we could do for a tool for you guys to make the decisions. The comprehensive annual financial report adds layers to that annual audit, to what's required in that audit. So after I was here a couple of years, I taught the staff about it. I can't take the credit. Although I did teach them about it, I motivated them. These guys did the work, them and their staff. But once they learned that we were only meeting the minimum required, they said, that's not good enough for us. We want to do more. So after a year or two, we prepared our first comprehensive annual financial report, CAFR. We prepared that. We looked at it, and we thought after a year or so, it was good enough to submit it for the award. To get that award, they take our comprehensive annual financial report. It's a little bit like self-torture. They take that report out, they send it out to experts across the country, and we get graded on it. And they decide whether or not we get the award. And I'm proud to say that we have earned it every year that we have submitted it since I've been here in Lafayette. So while you guys love to spend time with your budgets, let me encourage you to spend some time with the audit. The audit tells you what actually happened. The budget is our plan, how we plan on operating for the future. But the audit tells you what really happened. And it's worth spending some time with. I know I get lots of questions on our finances, and some reporters here in the meeting room, I will pick up the audit and refer him to the page where he can find the answer to his questions. There's a lot of stuff in there. It's designed that way to meet the guidelines so that it could be a tool for you to use. So I'm proud to say that while I was probably the inspiration, these guys did the work, and they really have earned your acknowledgement of their work.
All right.
I better put my stocking on. Congratulations, Ms. Laurie Toops and staff. Y'all are a wonderful group, and you have been very resourceful in my 8 years. So I think you came on right at the same time I came on, or close to. So thank you. All right. Okay, Mr. Mayor President. Thank you very much. All right. All right, we're moving right along. Again, resolution has been deferred, and now we'll go to a joint resolution, item number 6. Can you please read?
Joint Resolution 38-2020, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council declaring those holidays to be observed by employees of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government for the calendar year 2021.
Okay, need a motion in a second. Motion by Councilman Gilbo, second by Councilman Tabor. Any council discussion? Seeing none, Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Okay, please call the roll.
District 1? Yes. District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Okay, we'll now move to report and/or discussion items. Read item number 7.
LSU Ag Center report.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to give the floor to Mr. Charles Hebert.
Oh, yes, a presentation, right?
Yeah, you can take that off.
Thank you.
Wait, okay, wait, that's me. Okay.
Okay, thank y'all. Good evening. Charles Hebert, County Agent, Parish Chair with the LSU Ag Center here in Lafayette. Each year we come to y'all to give you our annual report based on what our office is doing within our community. So we'll spend a couple of minutes going over this report, and y'all each have a packet of information, and I'll point out a couple of things once I'm finished the report. But the LSU Ag Center is a local presence of the Cooperative Extension Service. Here in the parish, our goal is to deliver research-based information in the areas of ag and natural resource, family and consumer science, and 4-H within our community. I realize that the Ag Center, or the LSU Ag Center, is part of each parish, so there's an office in all 64 parishes, and there's 17 research stations throughout the state. I'm sure y'all know the closest one to us is in Crowley, and that's the Agriculture Rice Research Station for rice and crawfish. We are currently located in the LSU Ag Center office building, which is the 1010 Lafayette Street building. As you know, the Ag Center is funded by a 3-way partnership between the federal government, which is USDA, the land-grant university system. I realize we have employees, one that's a Southern employee, and the rest of us, the other 10 of us, are LSU Ag Center employees, and that's assigned by the state based on demographics. In addition to that, we all realize that this year programming has shifted due to COVID. So things we didn't think much about before this year, we are now working with Google Classroom. All of our 4-H club meetings within all of the schools are in a Google Classroom. Zoom, Skype, you name it. We've YouTube. So we've adjusted tremendously since March for program delivery. In Ag and Natural Resource, the slide highlights many of the programs that are conducted between the area of Ag and Natural Resources. These work with farmers, landowners, gardeners, plant enthusiasts. The Ag Center also offers several master programs where either a master cattleman, master farmer, master gardener, or master horseman go through an intensive training so they become more or less specialized in that area. Regarding master gardener, we have about 400 master gardeners in Lafayette. Well, the program's Lafayette, but some of the people actually come from neighboring parishes that take the course here in Lafayette. That group of people gives back almost 12,000 hours throughout the year, educating others throughout our community and the surrounding parishes. And these are some of their programs that are conducted throughout the entire year. In the area of family consumer sciences, realize our goal is for our community to be a healthier community, whether that's working with youth, working with senior citizens, or working with individual parents and their families on health and nutrition. These are some of the programs that are offered in family consumer science for youth, adult, and community health fairs. In addition, our 4-H youth program is a non-formal, co-curricular, so we're tied to education. As I mentioned, we're funded both by, on local level, LCG and LPSS as a joint partnership on the local level. We are normally in all the schools. We're still integrated more on a virtual platform now, but we're still delivering programs. Our traditional program this past year, we taught life skill development in all of our schools, and that's anyone from 4th grade through 12th grade that's enrolled in the program. We have 50 schools that are both public, parochial, or homeschool. Last year, we reached about 1,500 members. And then through school enrichment, which is an additional program that's tied more to a teacher or educator in the classroom, where it's incorporated to all students within that class. And those things are more like embryology. That was a pilot this past year. It's going full scale, and that's in 3rd and 8th grade. School Garden Initiative, and that's for any teacher that wants to apply for a mini grant. And we do service learning, where kids or a teacher at any school can get their students more engaged in giving back to their community, or as what y'all know that as a civic engagement. So we want to start our young people as early as possible learning what it is to give back to their community. Y'all talked about voting. That's part of that civic engagement. In addition, our 4-H Youth Development Program, we have many parents and high school 4-H members that serve as volunteers. That group of people in Lafayette Parish gives back a little over 15,000 hours annually. So that's the economic value of a little over $300,000. When you look at the economic sector, you multiply that time the $25.43 per hour. This past year, our shooting sports team from Louisiana, first time in 12 years, won national in Grand Island, Nebraska. So many people don't realize, but we have a very large shooting sports or shotgun program here in Lafayette. So we had several of those members on that team represent not only Lafayette, but Louisiana and the national program. And they came home with the sweepstakes champion. This is a school garden initiative. As many of you know, this started 11 years ago. We're incorporating school gardens at many of our schools, and the goal is to incorporate general nutrition, health and fitness, and the garden into that school curriculum. So regardless of the teacher we're working with, if she's a science teacher, we'll incorporate it through science or plant-based science. If it's an art teacher, then we're going to draw plants. We're going to still learn about plants, but it'll be through that curriculum. In the past 6 years, there's been a school garden initiative that teachers apply for grants, and then those grants are awarded in the fall of each year, and that grant carries that school through the school year, and then they reapply every year. This year's no different, other than we're on a virtual platform. So we're still doing gardens, but they're a little different. Still getting the education to the young people. Hopefully we'll be able to do more hands-on, interactive with our young people in the spring. In addition, not only COVID-19, we've dealt with several natural disasters, hurricanes that have hit Louisiana this year. The Ag Center has put together several teams, whether it's task force committees, collaborating with people like we serve on Acadiana VOAD, working as communities to figure out make sure we're not having gaps in our community to serve those people in our communities, whether it's volunteers. In addition, helping all of our farmers that have agronomic crops in our communities. So this is something that began this past spring with the pandemic and has continued now with storm recovery. And each of these items are on our web portal. So if you have questions, and in addition, just want to conclude with our mission of the Ag Center, our contact information. This can be found in your packet. There's a copy of this presentation, as well as an annual report, which summarizes on the left-hand side of your program the programs that were conducted this past year, our office address, and then contact numbers on the bottom. And then on the back is some educational information and people we reached throughout the parish, parish facts, the census information, and what we plan to do this coming year. Just to highlight this under agriculture on the front page, realize when you talk about agriculture commodities or agronomic crops in Lafayette Parish, that brings in a little over $72 million annually just from Lafayette Parish. So a lot of people don't realize that, even though they're out in the outer-lying areas, but even though it is smaller than some of our larger geographical parishes, we still have a lot of farmers in our community. And then behind that's a copy of this presentation, and I gave you a copy of the state 4-H report for 2020. So thank y'all, appreciate all of your support, and do y'all have any questions?
Mr. Charles, how long has LCG or the parish or combined councils been funding you guys?
I've been here 26 years, and it's been, realize we came in through police jury side of government, so that's where we originated. So, I mean.
Consolidated wise?
Since consolidation, yeah.
Do you know what that amount was every year? Has it gone up, gone down?
It's I mean, it's gone down the last couple of years. I don't have that report with me, but I know between.
Laurie, do you know what we've done in the past? Okay.
I know she has it. Not
Do you
with
know,
her, but
do you know how much we were able to provide this year?
it's about 100 and, I don't know. It used to be 137,000, and I think now we're about 125.
I think it was 150, huh?
And
Right.
we provide an office space and utilities and all that.
Correct. So salaries are about 100,000 a year, and then office space, internet, supplies.
Okay.
I can pull those reports.
Is that funded by a millage?
That is funded from the Parish
Parish General
General Fund.
Okay. I support 4-H. I love it. My daddy was with Farm Bureau. I think it's important that we have these programs. I just got to be honest with you. I don't know how much longer, as much as I would want to continue contributing and keeping this program going. I don't know how many more years or another year. I don't know how much funding you may be able to get from the Parish General Fund, being that our balance is roughly 100,000. Now, it fluctuates, could be more, with some cuts, whatever. I'm just saying, is there any other revenue that you potentially are trying to help to keep the program in Lafayette Parish? Is there other municipalities looking at, because you go to Leo Judice, you do things, you do things for all the elementary. I'm just got to put you on notice to say that it's until those solutions come in and we can do something for June or in the future to fix the parish, that's where fire protection was coming from in the past. We got that rededicated from a millage. A lot of the things that are coming out of the Parish General Fund are things that are not in a millage, not mandated. In other words, we're taking from that fund to make things happen, but we don't have 10 million, 20, 30, 40 million in that fund. So 100,000 is worth the investment. But if we have to cut and we have to say we can no longer afford things like that, I just wanted you to know that that's going to become a reality. In the past, we've been able to dodge it, but the story about kicking the can down the road, where there's no more road and we're out of cans to kick. So until we find a long-term solution for the parish, I would think you might want to start talking to other municipalities and start to see if they can chip in a little bit here, a little bit in there. We're going to do as much as we can. I want to continue funding you. I'll fight tooth and nail to keep ag around, because it's important to not only Lafayette Parish, but it's important to our country and kids to learn about farming and where stuff comes from. And you do a great job. I just have to tell you that the general fund that we have right now is, when we're short somewhere, we would typically go to a general fund piggy bank that has a lot of money to fix the subsidy, but it's just not there. So are you guys talking to other municipalities? Is there other revenue?
No, normally the local support has come from, I guess the parish side, 105, and then the school board has been those entities, but we will need to engage in conversation to figure out, to develop a plan and figure out where we can go from here.
I just don't want you to be caught off guard, Charles. You're a great guy. You got a great foundation. I love what you do. But I'm going to be honest with you, like I'm honest with everybody I talk to. The facts are the parish will probably not have that money available if we continue down this road. Now, if sales tax revenue increases, which like the numbers are up a little bit, we got Christmas coming, we should be fine. I'm just wanting you to know that it's nitpicking time, because if we have to fund the things that are absolutely needed, courthouse, jailhouse, those things are going to take priority over funding the 4-H. And I wish we had enough money to go all the way around, but I just wanted you to know that, because it's important that you probably start finding other revenues besides the state, and as long as I'm on the council, I'll do whatever I can to find the funding. I'm just being honest with you, and that's the things that the community has to understand. If you want 4-H and you want these programs to exist, Where's it coming from? It's coming from the parish general fund. So after we pay you guys and subsidize what we can, we, according to the award-winning, my friend there, ever since I've been here, we won awards all the time, and Laurie is very good at that. But she would tell you, she likes to have so much in rainy day fund. Right, Laurie? We got to have so much to, like when we were with the city a couple of years ago, when I was on the council, we were down to 10 million, 13 million, and we put a plan in place and we built it all the way back up. You got to have so much revenue left over to provide for a rainy day. So we just don't have it in the parish, but yeah, she can. Laurie, you good? Your mic's on?
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Could you repeat the question?
I was just explaining how years ago when you took it over, you done absolutely great job. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being honest with you. I've been working with you for 8 years. We were at a time where you would present the council if things got bad and we had to shut down, how much funding we had, how many days we could stay open, right?
Right.
And we went at a time under Darrell's administration, I think it was, we hit a tough spot. And then your financing and things that we did, we allowed to build back that revenue.
Yes, we did a lot of cuts, and we had to cut back in 2012.
Yep.
We did some refundings, and we reduced the budget in order to have enough money in the fund balance to fund about 20% of operations, which today I think we need to retalk that number, because I think that 20% is probably too low, given that we live in South Louisiana and the hurricanes that we've had. Just this year alone, we can see the toll that would take on our fund balance. So, I'd be recommending a lot more than 20% in your fund balance.
So tell me, do we have 20% in our fund balance in the
No,
parish
sir.
general fund?
No, sir.
Can you say that for the cameras for me?
We do not have 20% in the parish general fund. We don't have 20% in the roads and drainage fund either.
So how much percent you think we have?
No.
Like how many days we'd stay open?
We don't have a reserve in the parish general fund or the funds that fund public works. There is no reserve in there.
Okay. So to my point earlier about finding solutions,
Right.
okay? So if the city's got 40 million and she's saying they need more than 20% and we're the parish and we have nothing, that's where we at. I'm going to end on this note. Continue the dialogue, the conversation.
Sure.
If I can help you get a meeting with the mayors or whatever, I really think that this is a great program and it needs to be extended throughout the parish. But I think you know now where the parish is at moving forward. I wouldn't hinge that bet that we have $100,000 in the future to continue.
Sure.
Okay.
We will have a conversation. We'll meet.
All right. Thank you, Charles.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate you. Madam President, you have
Thank you, Mr. Chair. No, my point in asking that question is I wanted to provide a little clarity, because clearly you're advocating to increase the tax. That's fine.
No. I'm not said one thing about a tax. I am giving the facts about where the parish is at financially.
That's fair.
I never said a tax.
So I just want to provide some clarity for our people, and the CFO can correct me if I'm wrong. When I asked if you wanted her to answer that question, you had basically alluded that general funds affect our bond rating. You specifically said bond rating.
No, I didn't say bond rating.
Okay,
I said
good.
how long you can stay keeping the lights on, keeping the functions
Okay.
going. Nothing about a bond rating. Never
Not
said
sure.
bond rating.
From what I heard bond rating, but I could be wrong. But I do want to clarify, take this point, that the general fund of the parish is not, the analysis that applies to the city general fund is not equivalent to the analysis that should be provided to the parish general fund. Now, I want, the CFO can correct me on that. But the cuts that were made in the city general fund specifically to protect the finances of the city of Lafayette, which this administration is committed to, the parish will also benefit from that. So I just wanted to add that clarifying point, just so everybody listening at home would take that in.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything that we can do to help the parish would be great. And I commend you for what you cut and what you did, tough decisions you made. You had to do them, and I respect that. But I was not implying about a tax, and I was not talking about bond rating, simply going off of the history that I had with her for 8 years of how general funds had gotten depleted, and she likes to use a balance where you get 20% or more. So I'm not advocating for a tax. I'm just giving an organization that relies on parish funding from the general fund to understand where the money's coming from and why potentially this council may be in a situation that we don't fund the Ag Center moving forward because of the restraints that we have in the general fund. So that's all I was doing, was simply putting the financial facts about where the parish was at. If the solutions come back and it's not a tax from all the people I mentioned and you come back with a better solution, then great. I'm not advocating that it has to be this. I'm just saying the reality is real and there needs to be a solution or great programs, and the children that utilize these programs will no longer have them.
And on a positive note, I also want to say thank you. I echo everything the chair said about your program. We have a good relationship with your office. Our meetings have been a little more sporadic due to COVID, but I was able to meet with some representatives last week. Great conversation. You know, it's very near and dear to my heart as well. My oldest daughter participates in 4-H and has benefited from not only programs like yours, but really regionally. So kudos to all that you do, and I'm committed to working with the council to do everything we can to find the funding to keep you afloat. So keep up the good work, and we really appreciate your positive attitude, too. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, moving right along, we will move to joint ordinances for final adoption. This is a public hearing, and the speaker forms are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 3-minute rule does apply. Cindy, please read.
Joint Ordinance 87-2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government to provide for adjustments of revenue and appropriation estimates.
Okay, need a motion and a second to consider. Motion by Councilman Carlson, second by Councilman Gilbo. Any council discussion? Seeing none. Ms. Williams, any comment?
No, sir.
Okay, please call the roll.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 1.
Yeah.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 89-2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, authorizing the Lafayette Mayor President to enter into a Fifth Amendment to contract for collection and disposal of residential solid waste, including residential yard waste and white goods within the city limits of Lafayette and the rural areas of the parish of Lafayette for the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government.
Okay, need a motion and a second? Motion by Councilman Tabor? Second. Second by Councilman Carlson. Council discussion. Madam President, is this in regards to helping making sure that we pick up all of the debris from hurricanes and stuff, or? Oh, I'm sorry, hold on.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
It's a provision, it looks at a provision in the contract we have with Republic, but I'll let Attorney Paul Escott elaborate a little more, if you don't mind, Mr. Escott.
I got you on here. I don't know if it's on.
So, is it,
Yeah, go ahead.
so, can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
All right. So, Mr. Chairman, these amendments were to improve the contract that we currently have. There were a couple of provisions that we felt would benefit the city and parish under the contract, one of which, for example, was there's what's called an AMSR penalty, which is the percentage within which the company is required to avoid missed pickups. And so if they fall below that particular percentage over a 3-month period, then they owe us a penalty.
Okay.
Okay? And the way the
So
original...
checks and balances,
Yeah,
basically.
the way the original contract read, it said 3 months, for 3 consecutive months in any calendar year.
Oh, wow.
And the problem was, if they had a bad November, December, and January, it didn't count.
Gotcha.
So we changed that to 3 consecutive months in any given 12-month period. So
Okay.
we fixed that. We also expanded the ability of the EQ department in this amendment. Republic pays us an annual amount of money that goes toward the I guess you call it the white good programs, and when they pick up things at the UL parking lot.
Oh, like the
things
paint
like that.
and the
Right.
okay.
We expanded that definition so that they could do other programs to benefit solid waste and recycling, that type of thing. so that they could get a little variety of programs. So that was beneficial to us as well.
Okay.
That's generally the amendments involved.
Sounds great to me. I do have a question. Mayor President.
Yes, sir.
I'm getting a lot of calls in my area, and I'm sure the rest of the council is, in regards to the storm debris. And I know it's not Republic. Who is the company, the third party, that, because I'm getting the calls, and I really don't know, or does the constituents know, or can I tell them who to call or a number to give out that basically says, hey, contact them in regards to storm debris?
Sure. So our third-party contractor is DRC, which is a national company.
Okay.
In full candor, we were not satisfied with the performance following Hurricane Laura. We felt it was not necessarily in our region and as a good neighbor in our best interest to not be a good neighbor and demand services from Calcasieu and Cameron, because they help multiple parishes in our state. In leading up to Hurricane Delta, our Public Works Director, there he is, our Public Works Director did a great job in getting additional trucks and crews secured prior to the storm, so that we wouldn't have that situation again. Of course, you guys all saw the same forecast that we saw in the administration. And at one point, correct me if I'm wrong, Chad, but we had up to 32, maybe 33 trucks and crews. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And we provided some analysis. I believe it was to the City Council last meeting. There we go. Yep. And so we can bring that number if you really need, but long story short and summarize, we had a lot better, I think we picked up 5 times the amount of debris in like 2 weeks,
So
compared to 6 weeks in Hurricane Laura. So
that was the company, or we went ahead and chipped in?
Both.
Both?
Well, we're doing everything we can on the public works side, and also our drainage department, traffic, roads, and bridges.
Right.
How many trees do we have in Cooley's? 1,200 trees in 60% of our coulees. Put that in perspective.
Yeah.
So we definitely got a lot of pruning, for lack of better words, in our parish.
Which ultimately affects the drainage, and
Yeah,
then they
absolutely.
get the call. And
But a kudos, and I don't think Warren's here, but is he? No. But Mr. Abity and our other directors, our communications team, we have this new program. It's called Storm. There we go. I'm relying on a lot of folks today. Storm Mode, team effort. But Storm Mode, it's a real-time computer program, an app that they can use. So in the past, where all these calls, to include with DRC, we're using paper and a paper trail where things can get lost, not a lot of accountability, not a lot of real-time action. This is up to date, like live.
Real-time stuff.
Real-time stuff.
Yeah.
And our citizens can call 291
okay.
8517. So I'll say it again, 291-8517. We take a lot of pride in our pickup here internally with Lafayette Consolidated Government, from public works to drainage to traffic, roads, and bridge, but we also take pride in being proactive, not only in tree removal and debris removal, but also our LUS side, our LUS fiber customers, and so on. So really
the
appreciate you bringing this
291
up.
number you gave, that's LCG, or that's DRC?
Yeah, there's dispatch with Public Works.
Okay, gotcha. Is that contract with DRC or whatever, are we moving forward with them for future hurricanes, or is that something Republic could offer? No?
Possibly. So we had conversations with Republic. So this contract with DRC, it's my understanding, comes up in April of this year.
Okay.
This upcoming year. So we're definitely going to have some discussions, and we have our open bid laws. The contract with Republic, when it was initially executed and then extended, and looking full candor, it wasn't done in a manner that this administration is necessarily comfortable with. I would appreciate a lot more public dialogue and open bid procedures to be followed. And if Republic is the awardee of that bid, then we will be happy to continue our services with them. I will say this about Republic. They did change leadership last year. I have met with the leadership of Republic. I'm very pleased with the direction that company is going. I'm very pleased with the working arrangement and professional courtesies that they extend to Lafayette, and I do see a very positive trajectory for that company. So I have no doubt in my mind that they would qualify for it, but it can't be an automatic thing. We have to do what's best for our people.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I thank you. I appreciate all that information. And I will say for the record, Charles with Republic has been very, very great. And
Extremely.
He's been a real big help in my area and other areas too. So thank you so much. That's the only discussion I had.
Thank you.
Not seeing any other discussion. Any blue cards?
No, sir.
Okay, please call for the vote.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 1, District 2,
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 90-2020 and Joint Ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 1920 operating and capital budgets of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring $29,700 from various accounts to Survey Equipment Replace account within the Public Works Department Capital Improvements Division for additional funding needed.
Okay, need a motion and a second to consider? Motion by Councilman Carlson, second by Councilman Tabor. No council discussion, seeing as time. Ms. Williams, any blue cards?
No, sir.
Please call the roll.
District 4,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 91-2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $13,851,870.72 in coronavirus relief funds received from the U.S. Treasury through the State of Louisiana Office of Community Development as authorized by the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security CARES Act, and appropriating within various departments.
Okay, need a motion and a second? Motion by Councilman Gilbo, second by Councilman Carlson. No council discussion I'm seeing. Ms. Williams, any comment?
No, sir.
Please call the roll.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 92-2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, authorizing the filing of an application to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security for a regional assistance to firefighters grant for the Lafayette Fire Department.
Okay, need a motion and a second? Motion by Councilman Tabor. Second by Councilman Carlson. Is Chief here? You got a lot of chiefs in the room, but I mean Fire Chief, AKA Mr. Benoit.
Good afternoon, or good evening. Okay,
Hey, we got something done, man.
Yeah.
You happy?
things are looking up.
Looking up, rededication, we're taking
Yes,
care of
sir.
that fire department.
That's it.
Question, is this a grant? Do we have to match it?
Yes, everything has to be matched. The rules have changed a little bit because of COVID.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a work in progress, it's fluid. Every time something changes, they will change it and let us know ahead of time. All you're doing is giving us an opportunity
Okay.
to apply for it. And then
Do you know if we happen to get it, what is that
It all depends
cost?
on what we apply for. Right now,
Okay.
all you're doing is giving us the authorization to just apply for something.
Gotcha.
And then once we see what it is and we figure we can afford it, then we get more specific.
And is this
into that.
particularly to just the Lafayette Fire Department, or this is going to be
Yes, it's
parish-wide?
strictly for the Lafayette Fire Department.
Okay.
That's correct.
All right, that's the only question I have. You have okay. Councilman Carlson.
How are you, Chief?
Good, how you doing?
Good. So my understanding in years past that this grant has only gone to the City of Lafayette Fire Department, is that correct?
That's correct.
Since there is no fire department for the unincorporated areas, is there any way for us to include in the grant not only funding for Lafayette City Fire, but also maybe for some of the volunteer fires in Milton and maybe Judy's that don't have a fire department that can actually apply on,
They
on
all
behalf
have
of
that-
themselves?
They all have those same privileges. Each one
But
of
they
the
don't
chiefs.
have the administrative personnel. I mean, you're talking about Milton has somebody, the man that's really overseen it out there, he's been there for 40 years. He's answered 90% of the calls. He had quadruple bypass surgery and was out answering calls again a week and a half later. But they don't really have staff or the information to file. Is there any way that you and your department could work with some of those volunteer fire departments so that we don't have the unincorporated areas missing out on maybe some of these grant monies?
That is in place. Each one of the chiefs have the opportunity to either apply for the grants individually or they can apply for the grants through the association.
Okay.
Because the 8 fire departments fall under the Lafayette Fire Protection Association, and we have grant writers. If for some reason those grant writers are not available, we can also solicit from LCG on the city side to assist with that. But the fire chief has to make that decision for that particular department.
Correct, and I'll chime in with you, sitting on many meetings with the fire department, with Chief and Chad and all of, a lot of times they haven't filed for that grant because there was no match from the parish, there was no
But
revenue.
now that we have
But-
some money, there might be the
Right.
ability to.
Right.
Chief, can maybe me and you and maybe Councilman Nakhan, just because I don't understand the process well enough, but I don't want to see federal dollars left on the table for the unincorporated areas, which are in desperate need. And now that we potentially do have some matching money, whatever we can do, and if you, working along LCG could help walk some of those volunteer fire departments through the process, I would certainly appreciate it. So if we can get something set up.
One of the things we're going to do is, Chad and I talked about it. Chad is the Secretary Treasurer, Brian and Broussard is the President. And we're going to invite you to the next association meeting. We have them on a quarterly basis. That way you can have all the chiefs in the room. You'll be able to sit down and talk to them individually and collectively and listen to their ideas. And then that way you'll be able to decide what is the best course of action to take going forward, being that we have a little bit of funding.
Is that next meeting before the deadline for this grant?
I don't think so, but there is some stuff in the works between the volunteers themselves.
Yeah, I think-
as chiefs.
When is the deadline for this grant? Do we know? Offhand?
Well, it's not a deadline right now. All you're doing is you're just giving an opportunity
Given
to
permission
apply
to
for it.
apply for it.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
But if you want a meeting before the association meeting, I will tell Chad tonight and Brian, and then they can go ahead and set up a
I
meeting.
would appreciate that, just so we can get the ball rolling. I'd rather be ahead of the game than trying to play catch up. And like I said, I don't want, if we're talking about how much the parish is in dire need of money, I don't want to leave any federal grant money on the table.
If you're available, today is Wednesday, if you're available, we could probably make that happen by Friday, giving you enough time to look at your
If you
schedule.
can coordinate with my office, I'll make whatever time available, I'll make it happen.
Okay,
Thank
and
you,
we're going to make
Chief.
sure that the mayor president and Sidra is included in that to make sure that we understand what direction we're going in.
Right. And the other thing I'd say is, I want to say the tanker trucks was a potential grant, the water trucks, last conversation I had with the association, and they were, the same thing was, well, we don't want to really apply for it because we don't know the funding, how we're going to get the funding. So I think now that we have some sense of direction of what funding we have, I think it's a great time to have that meeting,
The good thing about the tankers was that under Walter Como at the time, he used LCG parish money to go ahead and buy the 7 tankers for the volunteers outright.
Right.
Okay, everything else that they were able to secure was secured on the $100,000 that they would get on a rotating basis.
That's right.
And so what they would do is they would take that $100,000 and then they would apply that towards a fire truck, or if they needed a new station or equipment, and then they would apply for grants and get the matching funding to make that happen. Once that money was dried up, there was no other money available to be able to apply for those big grants for fire trucks.
which
and
ultimately
fire
made our
stations.
rating go, because
Right. We saw the rating decline over a 12-year period because the funding kept drying up.
absolutely. Okay, Mayor President's going to chime in. I just want to ask you, have y'all been in contact with Water District North? I want to say they filed, or maybe Sidra, you for me, they filed for, they bonded out some money for some water lines, from what I'm understanding, in the unincorporated areas, to now provide a 6-inch line that potential fire hydrants can be added. And I don't know if you were aware of that, but if administration has the info, you have it? Please chime in, because one of the other council members was asking me earlier, with PIL coming around the corner, some of the things that we can prove to them or what we're working on to help sustain the rating, at least not let it go up, but sustain it. Sidra, your Mayor President, you got it? Or?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Councilman Carlson, as well. Man, I hope our citizens are watching. I hope all of them are watching, because this is multiple agencies, multiple stakeholders working together. I think what you had mentioned something about taking dollars, now that we, thanks to the voters, have a revenue source that we can make that, we can stretch that. We can have some synergy there. And Chief's been doing it for years and doing a great job. And you're very wise to lean on his wisdom and experience. I do all the time, both in fire and outside of fire. But I definitely, we want to be in that meeting. We'll open up one of our conference rooms and we'll facilitate that meeting. If Chief Sonia needs to call in, or another chief, that's fine too. We'll use technology. But you're very much on to something. As far as the water district, I think you're correct, but let's confirm that, and then let's see what we can build on it. The chief and I kind of brainstormed a little.
Well, one of the things that we were going to do at the next association meeting was invite LUS and the water districts, because the meeting I went to last week with the fire chiefs, the supervisor for the bureau was there, the rating bureau, and he gave us some pointers and some tips on what we can do.
I was
being
on a
that we're-
conference call, I think.
We're in this COVID season.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we invite them, because there are some things that they can do that doesn't cost them anything but a little bit of time, and that can increase some of their points on the water side. So we're going to make sure that all of these individuals are included in that meeting as a learning process, so we can see what direction we're going in.
No, I think that's the way it should be done. That's the only way we're going to make progress. Bring everybody to the table, find out what we need to do to get better, find the funding, and find out what we need. But you want me to reach out to Water District North and South, or administer? How do we?
Let me get the mayor president's office to send an invite,
Okay.
including everybody
Okay.
into that invite, and that way, once the times line up, then we can have one set spot to have a meeting with everybody there to be able to talk to them.
That'd be great. That'd be a good accomplishment for the Lafayette Parish as a whole. And I know Escott and I were talking, our attorney, of what to do with the fire district that we created previous year, and the funding didn't happen. So there's some conversation of how does that look, or what do we do? So that'd probably be another discussion, another time. But
Sure.
thank you for your time. I don't have
You got a
anything
lot of
else.
moving parts right here. I think
Yeah.
we just to take a little bite of the apple at a time.
That's right.
Moving forward, so we can make sure we do it right.
Okay, I'm good with that. All right.
And
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, keep in mind, only 2 council members could attend at a time, 2
Okay.
parish council members.
That's great. Thank you. I always appreciate your help and wisdom. She's always looking after. Appreciate it. I don't want to get in trouble. All right. Okay, no other discussion. Ms. Williams, any comment? Please call the vote.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 1. The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 94-2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, authorizing the filing of applications for grant funding which may become available as a result of the presidential disaster declaration following Hurricane Laura.
Okay, need a motion and a second to consider. Motion by Councilman Carlson, second by Councilman Tabor. Not seeing any discussion. Ms. Williams, any blue cards? Okay, call the roll.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 1, District 2.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 95-2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, providing for the abandonment of a certain portion of right-of-way of West Grant Street adjacent to Block 18, Macomb Addition, and the granting of utility and access easements on the property of Lafayette Public Trust Financing Authority and SB Lafayette LLC.
Okay, need a motion and a second? Motion by Councilman Carlson, second by Councilman Tabor. Council discussion. Councilman Carlson, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mary, I think I saw you come in. Could you come and give us a little more information about this? And I didn't have time to follow up with you beforehand, but I just wanted to get a little clarification on what this was for, why we need to do this, and just why your recommendation was for this.
Good evening. Mary Slyman, Director of Development and Planning. This is an abandonment for LPTFA, who will be constructing a parking lot on that property.
Gotcha. Okay. That was it. I just wanted to find out what it was
We,
for.
just as a side note, traffic has approved it as well, so
Okay.
they're in favor of the abandonment.
Thank you.
All right. Not seeing the council discussion. Any comment? No, sir. Okay, call the roll.
District 4,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Ordinance 96-2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council, amending the fiscal year 2021 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government, and authorizing the administration to implement a 2% general pay increase for all full-time classified and unclassified employees, as well as eligible employees and officials.
Okay, need a motion and a second? Motion and a second. Huh? No, I need a motion and a second before I can get to an amendment. Motion by Councilman Tabor, second by Councilman Carlson. Okay, Councilmember Gilbo is requesting an amendment to exclude elected officials, employees of the President's office who received an increase through the budget process, and those noted by finance on the revised submitted form. Councilman Gilbo, you want to chime in on, or you good? You need a motion and a second to consider the proposed amendment. Motion by Councilman Gilbo. Second by Councilman Carlson. Council discussion on the amendment? Seeing none. Ms. Williams, any comment on the amendment?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, we got real close. All right, I did something wrong? We good? Okay. All right, so call the vote on the amendment.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 1.
Yes.
The motion to amend is approved.
Okay, now call the vote on the, oh, you have a comment, okay. Councilman Carlson.
So I know this was something we've been discussing for a while now, and we had to defer it last time, or, didn't pass one time because we didn't have enough people here. And then there's been questions, and then we had to defer it because the city council couldn't meet. But I'll be honest, as I considered a 2% pay increase for all LCG employees, like, this was difficult for me because I believe there are many employees that it's certainly well-deserved, especially with the crazy year that we've had with multiple hurricanes, COVID, the extra work that everyone's had to put in for this. But given the current situation or financial position of the parish, and I understand that it is improving, that sales tax numbers are coming in higher than projected, but I can't support a 2% pay increase for everyone for a few reasons. One, less than a year ago, we had a 5% pay increase for all employees. Combined with a 2% pay increase, now, I don't know anyone in any industry that's received a 2% pay increase, especially in 2020, number one. I certainly haven't. I don't know many people that, like I said, I don't know anyone that has given this current year. We have a $50,000 fund balance budgeted for the parish, and we're going to commit $92,000 in additional payroll expenses for the parish. That's just on the parish side. So we're committing money that, yes, we think are going to come in sales tax revenue, but we're 3 days into a new fiscal year. It's not like we're 6 months into a fiscal year and we have 6-month track record of higher than projected sales tax revenue. We have a couple of months, and that's prior fiscal year. We're 3 days in. So that's playing into my decision. If this was 6 months down the line and we are bringing in $50,000, $75,000 every month, higher than projected, I think I would be more likely to support it. Also, I think it's important to consider not just the impact that this has on the parish general fund, but some of these other funds that are already overburdened that we've been talking about all night. And here's my example. So right now, as we stand today, the library is spending $1.8 million more than what they take in every year, and they'll run out of their prior year fund balance in 4 years, give or take. Now, they should be cutting their expenses. I know we have new board members in place that are really trying to tackle that. But if we approve these pay raises, not only are we including $92,000 of parish general fund money to pay our employees, but we're also going to increase the payroll expenses for the library almost $200,000 per year. So now they're not just spending $1.8 million more per year than what they're taking. They're going to spend $2 million a year more than what they're taking in. So given the financial strain that we've been talking about all night, and we will continue to talk about for the next 6 months, I'm sure, I just can't in good conscience support this. Again, this has nothing to do with the hardworking, dedicated employees of LCG. They work above and beyond for the citizens of Lafayette Parish. But for me, I think it's, I can't support, I just can't come along and be on board with a 2% across the board pay increase, given the financial situation, given the 5% pay increase not 11 months ago. And so I'm going to have to vote no tonight on that.
Okay. Mayor President.
Mr. Carlson, I certainly appreciate all that you said and your concerns. I know it's genuine, and I know that you're looking at this purely from a fiscal standpoint, which you should, which everybody should, okay? But there are other factors, and I want to start off with saying when this 2% pay increase for our employees came up, I too was against it, and I'm the one that asked both councils to defer it because we were not at the time, based on the analysis, in a financial situation where we could afford this. And I made a commitment to the councils and to our employees that when we had objective, non-biased analysis that would put us over the benchmark to be in a fiscal situation where we can in a healthy manner and responsibly provide these increases, that I would bring it back to the councils and support it 100%. We are now at that time. From an ordinance standpoint, there are certain benchmarks that have to be met financially before the councils can consider these pay raises. Unlike the 5% pay raise that you referenced, where it was just willy-nilly, a bunch of games were being played by the previous City-Parish Council. That's not the case here. While I do appreciate the 5% to those employees, there was no objective analysis that went into that. That was politics. We cut roughly 150 jobs, part-time, full-time, okay? Because we were in a situation, a couple of situations actually, we were in a situation where those jobs were not needed, and the taxpayers were footing the bill for that. That did put a little bit more duties, and I'm saying this for your consideration. I know that you just said that you're going to vote no, but I would like for you to really think about this, okay? And maybe you didn't know this. 150, roughly, part-time and full-time employees. We put a lot more pressure, a lot more burdens on the employees that we have now. We're talking about policemen. We're talking about firefighters. We're talking about, after these storms, LUS workers that were 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning when a lot of our citizens were out of power, a lot of our citizens weren't. They were sleeping. These guys rushed to danger. We're talking about fiber employees. We're talking about our finance department where we just give them awards. Well, they don't just get those awards. They work really hard for that. And I know you know that, and I'm not going to belabor the point. So I really want you to reconsider. And we as an entity can't forget the number one asset that we have, that any company has, is their employees. It's the manpower. Again, I'll rewind 6 months ago, roughly 6 months ago when this came out. I was not supporting this, and I'm the one that asked you guys to defer it. And I appreciate you taking that seriously and deferring it. But that commitment to bring it back, I feel like I honor that because the objective measures are there to safely do that. And I'd ask the CFO to chime in or is the parish, because he brings good points, is the parish in a financial position to safely and responsibly approve this 2%?
Yes, the parish does have the money for this 2%.
Okay. So, not belaboring the point, you make good points from a financial standpoint. I know where your heart is. I know where your mind is. I just ask that you take that in consideration when you vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor President. Councilman Gilbo, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I certainly echo much of Councilman Carlson has stated. I certainly understand his position, and to be honest with you, I embrace his position. However, having listened to you, Mr. Mayor President, and the assurance just given by Ms. Toops, I too value the employees. I understand the importance of good employees and to an organization where we need to compensate them adequately. Yeah, I do have a problem with the 5% that was given. I hear you, Councilman Carlson. But I think there's also an ordinance that ties into this 2%. And I'm going to respect that ordinance. And this decision is not an easy one. And I am troubled about the finances. We didn't just start talking about the financial problems tonight. It's been an ongoing process through the whole budget process. Again, it goes back to the earlier statements by Chair where we really need to take a hard look at what we're going to do with this parish. I'm not advocating for a tax, but we've got to look for solutions. And we are asking that we don't do it in isolation, that each and every one of you in this community speak up. I know I'm kind of going off topic, but in terms of the pay, A few minutes ago, I would have voted no. I'm going to support it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Not seeing any other discussions, please call for the vote on the council to adopt the ordinance as amended.
District 3?
No.
District 4?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Okay, we're going to move right along. We have a 6 p.m. deadline, so we got to get rolling. Announcements of vacancies on boards and commissions, please read.
A vacancy exists on the Lafayette Waterworks District South Board as of December 1st, 2020. This is a one-year term. Applicants must be district residents. Individuals wishing to submit a resume for the above volunteer vacancies must be a registered voter and a resident of Lafayette Parish. Yearly ethics training for all appointees is required, as is financial disclosure under certain circumstances. Resumes are to be forwarded to Veronica L. Williams, Clerk of the Council, P.O. Box 4017-C, Lafayette, Louisiana 70502, or email to bclafayette@lafayettela.gov, no later than noon Tuesday, November 17, 2020, with appointments to be made at the December 2nd, 2020 regular meeting of the Lafayette Parish Council. Resume submissions are public record.
Okay, we now move. Cindy, please read the appointment.
Appointment to the Lafayette Convention and Visitors Commission for the remainder of an unexpired four-year term through December 31st, 2022. Applicants must be a minority as defined by Louisiana Revised Statute 382233.2.
Okay, just want to remind everyone that Susanna Johnson, Malbrough, and Joseph Garden Wiltz withdrew their names from consideration. The remaining resumes received for consideration are from
Solange Rivero Noriega,
Okay, and,
Nayan Patel, and Fuma Rita.
okay,
And you need three votes
okay.
for anyone.
Need nominations. Somebody hit their button. Councilman Carlson?
I'd like to nominate Patel.
Okay. Patel's been nominated. Any other nominations? Seeing none, please, any public comment? Okay, please call for the vote.
District 4? Yes. District 1? Yes. District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
Nayan Patel is appointed.
Okay, we're going to move to introductory ordinances. Need a motion and a second from the council to consider ordinances items 18 through 23 in global. Motion by Councilman Gilbo, Councilman Carlson, second by Councilman Carlson. Cindy, please read.
Parish Ordinance 68, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the mayor president to enter a cooperative endeavor agreement between the Parish of Lafayette and Scott Area Team Sports Incorporated relative to operation, maintenance, and capital improvement of Scott Park. Parish Ordinance 69, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 2021 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by changing the scope and name of the district court capital activity. Parish Ordinance 70, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 2021 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by authorizing the purchase of a replacement truck for an animal shelter care officer. Parish Ordinance 71, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 2021 operating budget and manning tables of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by adding 1 juvenile detention attendant 1 and 1 juvenile detention attendant 2 positions within the Juvenile Detention Center by reducing the Juvenile Detention Facility General Fund balance by $85,995. Parish Ordinance 72, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 2021 operating and capital budgets of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by authorizing the use of PY fund balance in the amount of $16,000 and appropriating within the office of the Chief Administrative Officer, Juvenile Detention Division, for the purchase of a commercial dishwasher. Parish Ordinance 73, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 2021 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring $250,000.62 from various accounts to the Lafayette Parish Courthouse Improvements Project within the Public Works Department Capital Improvements Division for additional funding needed.
Okay, is there any comments from the public? No, sir. All right. Okay, now we'll move to joint introductory ordinances. Huh?
Nope.
Call for the vote on the.
Oh, my bad.
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
The motion to introduce in global is approved.
For the record, I voted District 2 yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Councilman Carlson had answered 2.
I was excited.
I know, I got you. I got you. Now can I move to joint introductory ordinances? Need a motion and a second to consider items 25 through 28. Motion by Councilman Tabor, second by Councilman Gilbo. Okay, please read.
Joint Ordinance 97, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council to authorize the Lafayette Mayor President to enter into a fiscal year 2021 cooperative endeavor agreement between the City of Lafayette and the Parish of Lafayette and the interim marshal for the City Court of Lafayette. Joint Ordinance 98, 2020, and a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council to authorize the Lafayette Mayor President to enter into a fiscal year 2021 cooperative endeavor agreement between the City of Lafayette, the Parish of Lafayette, and Keith A. Stutes, 15th Judicial District Attorney. Joint Ordinance 99, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council to authorize the Lafayette Mayor President to enter into a fiscal year 2021 cooperative endeavor agreement between the City of Lafayette, the Parish of Lafayette, and the City Court of Lafayette. Joint Ordinance 100, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the filing of applications for grant funding which may become available as a result of the presidential disaster declaration following Hurricane Delta.
Okay, any comments from the public concerning the introductory ordinances? Seeing none at this time, please call for the vote for introducing global.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 1? Yes. The motion to introduce in global is approved.
Okay, we're going to now move to comments from the public. I need to check with Ms. Williams for any public comments.
There are no public comments.
All right. Okay. We adjourn the regular parish council meeting and call to order the Lafayette Parish special meeting. A reminder, all that Councilman A.B. Rubin is unable to attend this meeting, and I would just like to tell you that the resolution has been deferred indefinitely, so therefore there is nothing to be on the special meeting for the parish. Therefore, all meetings adjourned for the parish tonight. Thank you. And we did it in time.
We were done here at 10:30, but, yeah, so, what it is, yeah, I'm surprised to see you just heard that. Watch the sales tax, the lower property. I mean, I didn't think it, I don't think that vote on that. Not everybody's real keen on the higher sales tax. Especially how what they do with it. If it's a flat sales tax, no one wants a food and medicine tax. Right. So you have to start carving out exceptions if people push back on it, which they've done before. Yeah. They have carved out